I hope this is recording okay. I'm using a little Bluetooth speaker. Hopefully that'll get rid of a lot of the wind noise. Um, it's Saturday. Um, there's one thing that I haven't been talking about. I've alluded to. Uh, in 5 days, I have to be out of my place. And what seemed like a sure thing on the new place, it looks like that's no more. So I'm going to be homeless again, and I got to find something to do with the vast majority of my stuff. It looks like I'm just going to have to give it away. Um, Homeless again. I had been trying to sell my Jeep, and thank God I didn't. Like, oh my God, who knows what's going to happen next? I'm a little stressed, to say the least. I'm really just killing time in the city that I want to move up to, that I was going to, but now I'm not. Um, I really don't know what to talk about, so I guess I'll just open up my mouth and see what happens. There was some friends yesterday that invited me to go to a gym to work out and, sit in the sauna, that kind of thing. Um, I wanted to go, but when it came down right to it, I couldn't. I'm terrified of going in the women's locker room. I'm really scared. Even when there's gonna be friends there. God, that's so terrifying. Because even still, sometimes going in the bathroom is hard. I Last week I needed to go to the bathroom and it was at a Walmart. I went in and there was a lady that was waiting for her young child to finish up in the stall. And she looked at me, thank God she didn't say anything, because I knew I guess, she spotted me. And I was so worried that I was just gonna have to get out there just to protect myself. And I like working out and all that stuff. I do. But it's so scary. There's still a lot of fear I gotta deal with and come to terms with. One of the things that is along these lines is tucking. It took me years to really get it right to tuck. This is a hard one to talk about for me. There's all sorts of methods to use. You know, taping is talked about a lot. There's other things. But what I use is I use two pairs of tight panties. I've tried the tape, and for short periods it's okay when you really need to, whatever. But for long, like all day at work, most of the day, you can't. I could. Sorry about that. The space ran out on my phone, so I had to delete some things. Well, what I was saying is, like, with the tape, I couldn't use it all day. It didn't work for me. And what I do with the two pairs of panties, I offset the crotch like that. And so, uh, with the penis down and, the testicles on each side, um, so I'll position the panties in one side. I'll go so it tucks around my testicles, and the other panty I'll do around the other one. And then I'll reach behind into the panties with my thumb and fingers and pull my testicles back, and make sure the penis is right over the top of it. And then while I grasp the front of the panties, I lift up the back, make sure everything's stuck, and spread my legs a little bit to make sure the underwear goes, make sure it's, you know, not underneath, but it's, completely wrapped around. So if you have to bend over and spread your legs a little bit, it, everything stays in unless it's really fucking hot, and then you'll have to go to the bathroom and readjust. But I haven't had to do that a lot. I love to wear super, super tight clothes, and, I get a lot of people looking at my crotch, and honestly, it's not something that really bothers me because, people are interested if they can see anything. And I can get perfect camel toe. And I guess I can talk about it right now. Um, the little pocket that before your testicles drop, there's a pocket that they're up in. And so essentially, it can go to where they go up in the pocket. You kind of like fold the skin of the testicles and then you kind of tape over it. And that way, when you're wearing something like a bikini, where it's not going to have, the binding strength of the tight underwear and the tight pants or whatever you're wearing. And so, anyway, you know, I can wear a thong and it you can't tell anything. I had a girlfriend, at the beginning of this year, and I showed her once and she was amazed. And one thing about the uh, Dangly Donna that whatever the all sides to it is not small. If I was a boy, I'd be thrilled to death. But yeah, it's one of the reasons it's really hard to tuck for me. It took me a long time. And I have it so down that it really looks easy. Not like I'm fucking showing anybody, so don't get your hopes up. Um, so that's that side of it. I'm not gonna show some of those videos from the past for a while. I'm not too sure how long, but that stuff's really hard. I just can't watch it all the time, and I just have a lot of videos. August of last year, I made a lot of them, and then I stopped early September. The camera on my phone that I had at the time quit working. I have another photography camera that does video, but the quality's not as good. Like the video of me taking my hormones for the first time, that was shot with my other camera. Um, so that's the difference there. But there's, quite a bit. And there's a lot of them I'm going to have to edit certain things out because I'm really just beginning with this, and some of it is really, really graphic. And I'm really just starting to scratch the surface and to tell people about my past, and I'm gonna work into it a little bit slower. I'll still reveal some things because it helps so much to share. And I'm not, like I've said before, I don't do this to shame anybody. But You know, people find solace in it. I've found solace in people that have bared their soul, and I've always admired those people. Always. You know, for whatever it's worth, life is good, but God, this morning, I was just crying for a long time. Crying in bed. Woke up, took a shower, cried. Smoked a cigarette, cried. You know, I've got to be honest about that stuff. You know, I've got to learn how to show myself. And the way people look at me be damned, you know, I don't know how many people really think that I'm crazy or think that I'm smart. And I don't know what that ratio is. But frankly, I gotta stop even fucking thinking about that shit. Cause for what's important to me is that I go through life. Oh God, I hate the cliche with open eyes. But I'm going through life bearing my soul. You know, I had a job interview. I don't have a job either right now. I was at a job interview yesterday and it was really going well. And you know, I can really shine in those instances. And I completely forgot the point I was gonna make there. Oh, yeah, so the circumstances of my last two jobs, you know, I tell them I'd prefer that they wouldn't contact them, but you know, that if they do, I'll talk to them about anything they want, about anything they say that's not job related. You know, I can't lie. I won't lie. Even if that means that I won't find a job. And, you know, I've had so many people just, you know, well, you just make something up. I can't do that. Even when I bullshitted people and say I lied on my taxes because the government's bullshit, I've never lied on my taxes. You know, a lot of that was just bluster with me. I wanted to fit in. You know, I could be the man just like everybody else. Look at me, I can puff out my chest too. But that wasn't me. So, you know, the price to pay is pretty high to be myself. But for anybody, isn't that the case with us, with everybody? Isn't it when you're truly yourself that shit really seems to get bad? It has this really fucking crazy timing that just seems to fuck with you. But I'm keeping the perspective that through it all, when I have to fight to even not to think shitty thoughts, because even at that time, the good thoughts are just impossible, like it was this morning. But then I got this stupid song stuck in my head, that just this one line that was just so annoying, but it was just one of these I'm a good people thing. I've been listening to some country music lately. It's something I've liked, and it's just I've needed something different, and it's just what I've needed. So this line gets stuck over and over my head, and it helped. And you know, truly, I know I'm not a bad person. Ooh, the wind just blew my door. I have my phone propped up against the handle and a pack of cigarettes behind it just to balance it because I'm sick of just doing this all the time. Um, I don't know, maybe I should just wrap things up. I like addressing these more of the transgender issues, but with one of the points I wanted to just kind of make sure that I was clear on is that any problem we have, one problem isn't greater than any other people's problems, because I got lost so many years with just like so many people did, of you hear somebody's story and without really thinking of why or what, you kind of outdo the story. And with me, a lot of the times it was, I can relate to you, but please give me recognition as a really that what I've been through was meaningful and happened. And I wasn't imagining it, or I wasn't overreacting to it. I would truly like to know all those people that think that I overreact to everything, or to a lot of things, that feel that they can't have a conversation with me because I'll overreact or take things wrong. I would like to know that and have a rational conversation. But my wish when I say that is really with all of humanity. I don't like the groupings. Like growing up as a Mormon, it was, the one line used to sum up everything being said about somebody, or a question to ask somebody to give you a baseline of if they're a good person or how good they are, was, oh, they go to church, and or do you go to church? And there have been some people I've known that would go to church, but were just some of the most filthy people. Not just, in the way that the materials of life, how they organize them around them. I'm talking about just how they live. The hypocrisy of a lot of it. But since that bothers me, I have to be willing to look that, do I have that same hypocrisy? I have to consider this. If it bothers me, there is a good chance that it is something that is on the side of myself that I hold that I'm not dealing with or don't want to deal with. And that is my constant struggle with life. Um, I'm just going to kind of end here. I'm sure my phone is running out of space again. It doesn't have much. So, survive the day. That's the goal.